Hello and welcome back to another round of FBM Saturday by Master Race Car in Live for Speed. Round 25 of the championship will take place at South City Town Course Reversed, and it's great to be back on Twitch and YouTube. We hope you have been having a good summer so far, and let's get cracking with tonight's action. I'm Peter Butcher, and Michael Málek will join me pretty shortly. So yeah, don't worry, he will be here, and we will get cracking with qualifying, and you'll hear his voice as well. So yeah, let's take a look at what's been going on in the championship first of all. It's looking interesting. We've got FM Rex at the top with 541 points in the Drivers' Championship, followed by two Fox 777 and Happy D rounding out the top three, with Gabba, who is present tonight and looking fast, hoping to perform well in P4, looking to upset the top runners there. TJ's also here tonight. He's in P5 with Onifus, Dark, Wow, Doctor and Roger Chen rounding out your top 10 in the Drivers' Championship after round 24. We'll let the rest of the names on this 5 pages of results fly through, because we've had obviously quite a lot of drivers taking part in the championship so far this year, and it's absolutely brilliant to see. It's fantastic to see that the MRc FBM Saturday series is as popular as ever, with lots of drivers and lots of teams in attendance. And we'll get to the teams in just a moment's time once we show you the final screen, where 96 drivers in the championship scoring at least a point, which is super duper. So great to see. But yeah, the story at the front is that Rex is leading the way by a healthy margin, but he's got a lot of competition on his hands. He's got a lot of drivers here tonight who are really looking to upset him at the front, and we'll see how they get on in a few moments' time. Let's take a look at the team's championship standings then, shall we? It's Master Race Car leading the way with 867 points ahead of Fragmaster, Road Appraiser, Sidus, Good Drivers, TAV, Winners, RG, that's Race Green, Born to Race and Sonoris, your top 10. And I think we've got another page as well of these. We've got more teams entering, of course, throughout the year. 23 teams scoring at least 1 point so far. So again, great stuff indeed. Enough of the standings. Let's look at tonight's event format. We are going to have 2 19-lap races and a qualifying session, which is coming up in just a couple of moments' time. At roughly 20 minutes, we reckon, but with a big turnout, maybe it will go on for slightly longer. We will have to wait and see. Then the first race is going to kick off around about half past the hour with 19 laps, and then the second race with that top 10 grid reversal. That'll be at about the top of the hour again. So there's practice races going on at the moment, which means the drivers are getting used to the Formula BMW, the 1.2 litre inline-4 rear-wheel drive demo car available to everybody who downloads Live for Speed for free. It's one of the cars that you get with the game as standard. It's a lot of fun. It's not got too much power, but it's got plenty of grip. The wings generate plenty of downforce, which means you can have a lot of fun with it, especially around the streets of South City. The 3.1 kilometre, 1.9 mile South City Town Course reverse layout is going to put this car through its paces. It's got every single type of corner you could possibly wish for, long straights, tight hairpins, chicanes, you name it, it's here. And we're all here for it too. Can't wait. And if you want to see more FBM Saturday action, you can do, because we're broadcasting another 3 rounds of the championship throughout the year. We've got another round in August for round 33, then one in October, and the finale in December, which seems like a long way away at the moment, but there we go. Let's look forward to more. The championship is, of course, taking place every single Saturday, so if you do enjoy the action tonight and you want to get involved, please feel free to do so by joining the MRc FBM Saturday server at around about, what time is it? About just before 7 o'clock, UTC +1, and you'll be able to join in with the qualifying session, which is getting underway in, 1 second's time, according to the server. So let's get on with the show and see some cars doing some qualifying. The driver's just finishing off their practice just now, as we wait for the admins to start the qualifying session. And looks like they've just finished a sort of practice start to get used to the grid, which is something that some seasons don't do. Some championships do not do practice races at the beginning of the event, which always it leaves a little bit of interest. But anyway, let's head to the track and see some cars doing some laps. So here we go then. We've got some drivers coming out of the pit lane. Roger Chen is going to be our first car as he heads down to the pit lane. And he is out onto the first corner. But behind the pit wall, of course, there he goes. And then out onto the main track. It will be a fairly lengthy outlap as he does a little bit of tyre warming. But then he will send the car on a flying lap. And Roger Chen, one of the drivers who can always put together a lap when he needs to. Super quick. This part of the circuit is particularly tricky, especially with lots of traffic. Not so challenging on a single solo flying lap. You've got no other distractions other than yourself, really. So it's easier, in theory, to set a quick lap through there. As Roger continues to get a little bit of temperature in the tyres. Other drivers being released out onto the track as well, so we're going to watch a full flying lap from Roger Chen, and it'll probably be the last full lap that we get to see. So hopefully he does a nice job and we can talk him around the lap. So let's see how he does it. He comes out under the sort of flyover, the pit entry, onto his flying lap, goes as far over to the left-hand side as possible, onto the curb to get the best run into turn one as possible. A drop down to fifth gear, slightly shy of the apex, but that's okay. He's managed to carry lots of speed through turn one, out to the left, and then he's going to cut back to the right for the downhill and spot his braking for the tight left-hand hairpin. This is where we're going to see a lot of cars locking up during the race, potentially into each other, but that's decent. Second gear hairpin there for Roger Chen, and then slowly up through the gears, through the climb up to the never-ending right-hander, down towards the bus stop chicane. Let's see how he gets on as he spots his line. You don't want to hit that big red and white wall or that apex. Roger Chen doing a good job there. Then these corners come at you quick and fast. 1, 2, and then the final apex here for 3, and then out to the final sector of town course reversed. It's past the support pit lane, or a bit of a touch of the wall. Not going to hurt him too badly. Another great little corner this through the blue and white barrier. Got to miss that before you spot the brakes for the penultimate corner. And again, the tyres will start to get warm throughout the race, and you might end up drifting a bit wide into that wall as well. Plenty of walls to catch you out. One final apex underneath the flyover before you spot the line for the line, and up past, well, really close to the pit wall, of course, and over start finish to set a 1:18.11, our benchmark time. Allegre will be next. Allegra, and let's see what sort of time Allegra's going to manage. Decent split time. Let's see how the lap ends. Here he comes up to the line. And we'll see what it is. It's a 22.8, so actually lost quite a bit of time as we get the first of the Fragmasters cars coming up to start finish now. It's Hosep. Let's see what he can manage. Hosep goes P2 and 18.68 with our championship leader next up out of the penultimate corner. A little bit of a lift, a little bit of a slide as he comes out onto the home straight and then down under the underpass. Let's see what sort of time he has managed to set on his one and only hot lap. It's not good enough for provisional pole. Roger Chen has done quite a good lap there, an 18.66 for Rex as we switch our cameras to Strutter. Over start finish line, Strutter comes. Can he be the top of the FM drivers? Yes, he can. An 18.56, a tenth of a second faster than his teammates. And we've got good drivers. Wow, in the green and black FBM. it's good this during qualifying in this championship. We get to see all the drivers as it's a provisional pole, a 17.9. As we send our cameras to Johnny SVK, first of the Master Race Car entries tonight. And we'll see what he can manage. Johnny hugging the pit wall, trying to take the shortest line possible to the line, and it's a 19.25. Under the underpass for the Fox 777. Let's see what he can do. Drivers are coming thick and fast. And it's provisional pole, 17.69, a huge margin faster than Wow and Roger Chen. So a really, really good effort there. Next we've got Matty, a couple more corners to watch him through. But it's looking good for the Fox. That is leaps and bounds ahead of everyone else. Almost 0.3 of a second. But we've got plenty of drivers to come. We've had our championship leader, but we've still got TJ and Gabba to come, as well as a whole host of others who are super, super quick in the FBM. Matty across the line now. What's it going to be? Fourth, an 18.26 for Matty. Gabri coming up to the line, and let's see what he will get. An 18.59, sixth place. Next we've got Sonoris. First of our Sonoris Hiwatt, the first of our Sonoris drivers. And it looks like this car's already been into the wall. Whether that was on the outlap or the qualifying lap remains to be seen. But it would be unusual to crash the car on the outlap. I mean, it's unusual to crash the car on either lap, let's be honest. But it's happened at some point. Let's see if it's affected his qualifying. Cross start finish comes Hiwatt, and it has. It's a 1:19.83. Owen, quick over start finish, probably because of the issue his teammate had, but only a 19.79. As we pick up Doctor, who is sort of in the, well, coming into the final sector now, and it's well, it's a decent split time. This could be a quick lap, this. Potentially around the realm of the Fox 777 and Wow. But let's see what the time will be. As I have the pleasure of introducing Michael Málek into the commentary box as Doctor completes his lap. Michael, welcome along.
Good evening, everyone. Thank you for letting me be here. Yeah, it was a very hectic day, but I am more than ready to commentate on this fantastic Not a Fox Friday event, with TJ getting the provisional position of 1 minute 17.61. The next on the line will be RP Master, so let's watch him. There he goes. Through this slow chicane, it wasn't a very confident lap so far. And he seems to be struggling for the grip, so probably not a very strong club in this particular qualifying.
Yeah, the only SRP driver in the server as far as I can tell. So let's see what Master can manage. Like you said, it's been a bit of a shaky lap so far, but the previous sector was decent.
Yeah, it seems like he's using his race setup because he has harder tires on the rear, which is likely to be used in the race. So maybe he's compromising his ride to get some extra practice. As he goes 15th fastest. Yeah, 15th.
Sufor has just gone through behind Master, while Master's still driving round. And Sufor went P3. We couldn't get the cameras on him as he came over start-finish. Sufor close behind Master. And now we switch to Bilo. So let's see what Bilo can manage. Also looking at the chat in the server, TJ was not happy with his lap. He's not happy with a 17.61. Doesn't think he's safe, Michael. I think he might be in trouble there.
He could be in danger, but nevertheless, I think he will be in a very strong position for the first race of the two.
Bilo crosses the line in P10. Next, we'll have champion plays YT, who bounces off the wall at the third to last.
And this also on race setup, which is clearly showing.
Yeah, well, potentially getting a couple of more laps of practice on the race setup doesn't really harm, but it won't be a good qualifying position compared to those driving a qualifying set. Well, let's see what it is, however. As over start finish he comes to go P17. Next we've got D Chaser Samet driving a McLaren F1 or McLaren IndyCar, Arrow IndyCar livery, whatever you want to call it, as it comes over start finish now. And where's Samet going to go? P13 only. Okapokan next.
Yeah, exactly. For me personally, the first time seeing this particular player, so I'm curious to see how it goes for him. It wasn't the strongest lap so far, so he might be up to the second half of the grid, but as long as he drives in a constant manner, he should do well.
Not a bad split time. We'll see what happens. Let's see how the end of the lap went. P17. So lost some time there at the end. Next is NL next.
Yeah. This Nexus player from Netherlands, I guess, goes over the line now and steals the 17th place provisionally on the start. As we swap to Potatoes, who had a similar split too, and let's see where he gets at the end of this lap.
Pretty fast Sector 2 compared. Let's see what's gone on there. Under the underpass. And taking the shortest line to start finish. What's it going to be? Yeah, Potatoes goes P18. So again, struggling in the final sector, quite a lot of these drivers. As Rodder is next. And I'm excited about the next driver. I've not seen Botsy for a long time. Rodder goes P18 as we switch the cameras over to Cyrus Botsy. Great to see him back in a car that he loves, of course, the FBM. Been a while since he's been on our screens, but there we are.
Yeah, been a long while. I don't think I've seen him in a year. So it's really great to see him back, and it shall be a very good comeback with the provisional split he set.
Yeah, that's a ridiculous final sector that we've got underway here. Let's see what Botsy can manage. Is it going to be pole position, taking it away from TJ? It isn't. It's P5. 17.98. And he would have hoped for more as we switch over to his teammate Gabba, who comes across start-finish now. Will it be pole? Yes, it will. 17.6, but only by 100th of a second over his teammate. Over TJ, his championship rival. As next we will watch Majesta across the line, will we? Yes, we will.
In the meantime, TJ calls Gabor lucky.
Well, neither of them happy with their laps, and neither will Majesta, as Majesta crashes into the third to last. Nothing really to be done about that now. Losing a lot of time, but let's see if it's going to be a good one. It's not going to be as fast as Botsy, I don't think. I think we're looking probably around the top 10, like cusp there. Let's see what Majesta manages. Oh no, quite a lot further down. P17. Majesta will be furious with himself after that one. Criminez next for the TAV South American team.
So far, a solid lap. It should be good enough for P15, maybe if he gets a good final sector, I guess. To the final turn and into the back straight. Unless you count the following underpass as a turn, I don't know.
Yeah, there was too many gear changes coming out of the penultimate corner. But let's see what Criminez manages. Up to start finish. And it's P21 for him. Nano is next across the line, his teammate.
Yeah, Nano had a very strong split, and it's P7.
Oh, that's decent. T-Bug will be next around, and we get a few more corners to watch T-Bug. He's just coming up to the top, or the highest part of the track, and then back down the hill to the bus stop chicane. There we go.
Yeah, must be said that T-Bug really improved his racecraft in the past year or so, and he's doing very well so far. One more turn to go. Split time 45.6, so a very decent time for him. Let's see where he goes past the finish line. Into the 6th gear and full throttle towards the finish. And it will be P19th.
P19. Next it's Tamas. See what he can manage. Bit of a kick of oversteer out of the penultimate corner, but
And that oversteer wasn't very healthy with the losing the acceleration towards the long straight. And it's P18, so very decent lap after all, as we swap to Happy D.
yeah, good.
Is on a good lap.
Good lap so far, as you said. Let's see if Happy D can make it into the top 5 at least.
I don't think so.
Yeah, got to have a really nice final sector here. What is it?
It was P9.
P9.
I guess he's not very happy about that.
Well, we'll find out, I'm sure. As that concludes the qualifying session, and Gabba takes provisional pole, unless he decides he doesn't want to take part, but he is on pole position for now. TJ in P2, the Fox 777 in P3, with Sufor in P4. Wow, Botsy, Nano, Roger Chen, Happy D, and Matty round out your top 10. Then we've got Doctor, Jota, Not Gabri, Bilo, Rex, Hosep, Samet, Johnny SVK, Tamas, and Majesta, the top 20. And then 11 more names in fact. T-Bug, Owen, Highwatt, Nexus NL, Criminez, Rodder, Potatoes, Hokabokan, Master, Champion Plays YT, and Allegra, to create a 31 car grid, all of whom are within the 107% time, and should therefore be allowed to start the race without any issues, which is a decent number of drivers for the first of 2 19-lap races tonight, Michael.
Absolutely, and let's not forget everyone will have to do a mandatory pit stop, which is a strategic element thrown into the race. And it will be interesting to see this strategy to play out, especially on this track where overtaking is very difficult. So we can expect that drivers towards the end of the grid might pit at the end of the first lap.
Yeah, I mean, we've seen all sorts of strategies in these sort of double-header reverse grid sort of format races, and well, we'll see what everyone decides to do. Now, at normal tracks, at tracks with runoff and gravel and wide open straights, Michael, you might expect some cars to pit on lap 1, but South City is a street circuit and overtaking is not easy. So what are people going to do? Are they going to elect to maintain track position and not pit on the first lap unless they have something, I don't know, horrible go wrong? Because if you pit and then come out behind a whole bunch of cars, it's going to ruin your race potentially.
Yeah, but if you start towards the end of the grid, then you essentially gain free air while taking that mandatory pit stop element, so that could be beneficial in the long run.
Yeah, it's all about when you pit, and it's also about how good your average lap is. That is the name of the game. You've got to make sure you don't end up in too much traffic. You've got to keep yourself clean, but you've also got to be fast. So not demanding at all. So yeah. It's,
well, in the end, the perfect strategy in race 1 is to finish in 15th place. So let's see what we like. 10th. Oh, okay.
Yeah, 10th place is the reverse grid. So for race 2, the top 10 are switched in this championship. So yeah, keep your eye on P10 at the end of race 1. They will end up on pole position. Yeah, so we have 100 seconds left before the start of the first race. And we're having confirmation in the server now that you were right, Michael. It's top 15 reversed for race 2, so that's good to know. So a lot more cars are going to be switched than would be before. That's going to cause all sorts of chaos around the streets of South City, which we're all delighted about, I'm sure. That's going to be good fun. While we wait for the counter to count down there at the bottom left of your screen, that is the restart timer. Let's look at the calendar. We've got 3 more rounds of the championship that are going to be broadcasted here towards the end of the year. August, October and December. And of course, the championship takes place every single Saturday. So if you enjoy tonight's action and you haven't taken part in this series before, consider joining next Saturday at a track to be confirmed, of course, after tonight's action. All the information about that is available on the Live for Speed forum or on the Master Race Car Discord server. Right, Michael, we've got plenty of exciting things to look forward to, but the first thing we're going to have to commentate on is the run down to turn number 1, the long right-hander. It's going to be dramatic, I'm sure, and it's going to be all yours. So, without any further ado, as the drivers get ready to do the restart, take it away. Take us to the beginning of race 1.
And here we are for the Christmas, the FBM Saturday, with Gabor on pole, TJ in the second half of the first row, then it's Fox, Sufor, Wow. Everyone waiting for the red lights to come on and then to go green. Let's hope everyone behaves very well in the long turn 1 right-hander. Lights are on and we are going green. It looks like Gabor had a perfect start while TJ is under pressure from the Fox. We are almost going side by side, but the Fox decided to slip in. And it looks like everyone so far managed to get through turn 1 very well. Gabor goes defensive, TJ does as well, as slipstream is very strong here. Wow is alongside Sufor for P5, and TJ tries to attack Gabor around the outside through the turn. It's very tight through there, but so far no heavy contact. And Gabor maintains the lead of TJ and the Fox 777. Then it's Sufor and Wow, so this order has not changed very much. But TJ is very hungry for the lead of the race. But he has to be careful, because if he does any mistakes, the Fox will be right there to take his place away. And Botsi has now catched up to Wow, so it's now a single-way battle for the lead, essentially. As Nano is on the tail of Botsi, and also Roger Chen is now catching up, so it's a huge train of very fine drivers getting ready to beat the leader.
Yeah, and here's the first real slipstreaming opportunity after the start of the race. Gabor's got a crucial gap as we've got our first blink into the pit lane. It's a Fragmaster's car. I couldn't quite tell who it was. Oh, it's Strutter that's coming to the pits first. There he is on the left of your shot as we follow Botsi down the home straight, who is doing a little bit of defensive driving. Hiwatt also into the pit lane, but Gabor crucially with a half a second lead over TJ into the first corner of lap number 2. With very, very few people, Michael, there making any sort of slipstream move, which probably tells us that this is going to be a difficult race for some, as Happy D probably the closest for a move there into the hairpin. Yes, he's got a nose alongside Roger Chen, and they're going to be really, really super, super close up the hill.
Yeah, I think we came to the effect of such a DRS train, as everyone is too close to the car in front of, and no one is directly benefiting from the slipstream. but as the field will spread further away from each other, I think we will see a lot of slipstreaming, especially on the main straight. As we are watching Rajuchan being under heavy pressure from Happy D, who is waiting for any mistake. And Rajuchan is really being fed up towards Happy D with Alnano, Botsi and Wow battling together. Botsi is very close to Wow, who seems to have lost the slipstream, so he will be vulnerable. There we go, it's a three-way battle with Wow not having any slipstream at all. And Botsi knows that where he goes. Oh, it looks like Wow goes white instead of letting Botsi around. Botsi makes the turn, and it looks like Nano will be the next possible attacker.
Yeah, he's going to do it straight away. Wow was completely put off because of the dirty air coming off the back of Botsi, and El Nano will slip through as well. So good overtaking action there at the beginning of lap 3, and it shows you how crucial, Michael, it is to be close out of the penultimate corner and pray that the car ahead of you doesn't have a slipstream of their own.
Absolutely, now it's Rajuchan next to beat Nano as we are watching Botsi being under pressure from Alano. So he's very eager to get past this dirty air. This track is hurting the tires a lot, especially since most of the drivers are running the softest compound, which can overheat easily in the opening laps. So we want to get as much clean air as possible. And let's see who gets the best exit out of this final turn.
Yeah, it looks like Botsi's managed to get enough of a gap that he will be safe. But behind, it's possible that we'll have some other overtaking action. Rex has just managed to get through on Matty as they head up to start-finish. There they are. The Rex up to P10, which is probably not where he wanted to be at all, leading the championship into this round. I'm sure he would have expected to be slightly higher up, as Nano is going for the move on Botsi around the outside. Botsi there having to break out of it. No, they're going in side by side. There's contact, further contact. Nano pushed back down, and now Wow is going to be thinking about making a move too.
Yeah, absolutely, but they are getting into the section where overtaking is absolutely impossible, so Wow might to wait a little bit. Goes even a little wide through there. The left-right chicane. Happy now getting close to Rajuchan right behind them, so it's a long train of cars.
Yeah, that would have taken Botsi a little bit by surprise, but Nano looking absolutely rapid out there and closing in again. Let's see if Nano is close enough. Botsi is not close enough to anybody ahead to be able to slipstream away. So let's see if Nano gets a good exit. It's a bit of oversteer, and that is going to neutralise that battle, as Doctor has... What's Doctor done? He's dropped down quite a bit, and he's now under pressure from Samet. As we've got Rex and Happy D going for a move on Roger Chen here.
Happy D on the outside, Rajuchan on the inside, and Rex waiting for an opportunity to get past. It looks like Happy D is already past, and now is Rex alongside and past Rajuchan as well. So it's a double position loss for Rajuchan in the span of single turn. And they are now already right at the tail of Wow, who is being stuck behind Nano and Botsi, so it's very difficult to overtake here, and Botsi seems to be struggling on a race pace here, as the top 4 cars are already seconds away, and he's essentially slowing down everyone behind him, so I'm not sure where the issue lies with Botsi, but it's not up to his real pace right now.
Yeah, well, Rex is now hassling the back of Happy D. We're riding on board with Rex, and Happy D there, a bit of oversteer, but crucially, Happy D is closing in on the back of Wow. You can see up ahead, Botsi still defending from El Nano as we go on to the 6th lap, penultimate corner there. So we'll keep an eye. Ooh, Rex closing in on Happy D. Happy D bashes the wall, and that in the end will be an easy initial pass. As Nano is making a move on Botsi. He's on the outside. This is the fight for P5 in the race. Can Nano hang it around the outside? Yes, he can. That's a fabulous move, Michael.
Yeah, it was a fantastic overtake, and let's see how long it will take Botsi to hold Wow behind him, because I think Botsi is really struggling on the pace here.
Yeah, as you said, he's been out of the game for a little bit, and potentially a little bit of rusty racing going on here, as Doctor has managed to get himself a drive-through penalty for speeding in the pit lane.
And the
So his
penalty
afternoon
is
goes
cleared
from bad to
as he
worse.
spectated.
Yeah, he's left the race entirely. As we've got Strutter here making a move, or trying to make a move on Rodder down the order. But we need to head back to the front because Rex now is right on the back of Wow. And this could be a move for P7. Rex was sort of climbing the order slowly but surely after his less than optimal qualifying session, Michael.
Yeah, it looks like Doctor was having hardware issues, as he has reported that his PC was freezing all the time. So that's the reason why he has given up. And just before we switched to Rex, Wow was very close to Butzi, but made a mistake and it allowed Rex to catch up.
Yeah, fantastic action at the front for the opening laps. Very, very clean racing as well, it has to be said. More overtaking than you would normally see at sort of the opening laps of a race at South City, as Wow absolutely nearly jinxed me there and wiped Botzi out, so much so that he's outbraked himself, and Rex is through out of the hairpin. And Rex is now up to P7, so slowly but surely he's climbing the order. Which is going to be good for his points, but not good for his grid position for race 2 if he keeps climbing like this. Remember, the top 15 tonight are going to be reversed, and currently it's Bilo in that hot seat.
Yeah, exactly, but it will all count after we finish the 19 laps and everyone takes their mandatory pit stops, because some drivers are already off-cycled. As we are now watching Happy D getting quite close to Wow. I think he should be able to get the slipstream by the end of the straight, but I'm not very confident.
No, I don't think he's going to make it, but Samet and Gabri are side by side, all being squeezed to the wall. Gabri giving Samet absolutely no space at all. Well, just enough, clearly, as Samet makes the move up to P12, and Gabri is left with a lot of work to do to catch back up. That was super close. There was absolutely no room for error there.
Yeah, and both drivers got to be healthy, which really shows up how careful these drivers can get and do very difficult track like this, where no room of error is allowed.
Yeah, Rex has stopped being bothered by Wow for now, which has allowed him to close up a little bit to Botzi. There he goes through the bus stop chicane. You can't quite see him, but he is closing up to Botzi. The gap is, what's the gap at the sector? About half a second. So if he closes up a little bit more, he might have a slipstream out of the penultimate corner. There in the background, that was Happy D going slightly wayward in his pursuit of Wow. But there we go, onto the home straight once again. Is Rex close enough for a slipstream on Botzi? Yes, he is.
He's getting very close and should be alongside by any second, and he goes there, and looks like Botzi goes very wide.
Way too easy. Yeah. I thought Botzi would defend, but no, he hasn't. He's just let Rex drive by.
Maybe Botzi is waiting for the switchback through this turn, but he hits the wall, so it's all over. And I've noticed that Rex and Botzi are both struggling with front tires, but it's weird that Rex is struggling with front left and Botzi with front right, which makes a very interesting disharmony between these two drivers through the turns.
Indeed. Another pit lane. Someone's serving their pit stop, sorry. It's Nexus NL, who will return to the track in P24, I think. No, P26. A few more places lost there. As Gabba has not been on our screens at all, really, this race. He is live on Twitch. If you would like to view his stream, there he is. Sidus Gabba on Twitch, if you'd like to pull up his live stream alongside the main broadcast. We're not showing him too much tonight, so you might as well. And see how he's getting on. He's coming up to some traffic, Michael.
Yeah, we are halfway through the race, and some drivers who did pit already are now at the verge of losing one lap to the leader. As in the meantime, Happy D is taking slipstream of Wow. Tries to go around outside, but Wow closes the door. And they're now getting very close to Botsy, as Bo is struggling with the dirty air, but should be close enough to maybe try dive bomb on Botsy into the slow hairpin. Let's see, Happy D is there as well.
Happy D is there as well. He's not close enough to go for wow, but there is contact again. Somebody there pulled up at the hairpin. It was a back marker letting everyone through very nicely. But yeah, Botsy there, realizing yet again that wow is there and he's hungry. And there was some contact front wing to rear wing as we continue to watch from Botsy's sort of T-bar here. Wow, with great car control, almost looked like he was out of control going into that, but it's worked. He's still right there. Kick of oversteer for Botsy, dirty air for wow, and that's Happy D going for the move on at a place you wouldn't normally see a move, and that's fabulous. Wow's actually going to lose another place to Roger Chen if he's not careful. He has lost a place to Roger Chen, and that's a disaster from the hunter to the hunted in the blink of an eye, Michael.
Yeah, 3 positions lost in a single turn, essentially.
Yeah.
It's a very disappointing moment, but he should be able to keep up with the pack at least, and he, in the remaining 10 laps, should be able to get those positions back with careful management. Now he's struggling to get past Zetmeti 14, whatever. So he's now stuck in P11.
Yeah, he lost a place to Matty as well. That's unbelievable. How ready those drivers were to pounce at any mistake. So yeah, wow, really dropped the ball there, unfortunately. But that shows you how competitive this grid really is. You make one single error and you're going to be punished for it. Someone else there pulling up,
allowing also a back marker
if it goes to go through. I mean, I don't mind traffic letting people through, but when they essentially are stationary on a full speed straight, it can be a little bit unnerving. As we watch Gabba round the penultimate corner to start heading up back through the gears with 8 laps to go in race number 1.
Yeah, and most of the front of the grid has not yet pitted, so I'm safe to assume that most of them will be pitting towards the end of the race, probably the very last lap.
Yeah, as I may have just jinxed it. I think Johnny SVK has just had contact with a back marker, doing exactly what I just said. The speed differential just too large. As we've got Samet, interestingly, is the highest placed driver that's already pitted down in P17. So keep an eye on that. Let's see how that's going for him. Samet's currently just coming on to lap 11. He's just turning into turn 1 now as we watch TJ with a 3.8 second deficit to race leader Gabba. You can't even see him anymore, Michael. That's how far ahead he is. But it does remain to be seen when these two will pit.
Yeah, Gabor is really on fire tonight, but that can't really be said about his teammate Botsy, who is struggling for the grip all race long and is now under pressure from Happy D. So we are on the verge of a great fight for P7.
Well, you know what they say, live for speed is really easy to pick up and to race after a long time, but to be competitive, you have to race every week. You cannot have a break for as long as Botsy has and be leading a race like FBM Saturday. It's just not possible. So he's doing well in P7, but he has lost a step. It is clear to see. The drivers that are turning laps week in, week out are just doing better at this stage, and well, even TJ is struggling to keep up with Gabba at this point. Gabba is in a league of his own as we head into the final few laps of race 1 here.
Yeah, but it's really off pace tonight. I wonder if he had a child. Now, as it's being said that in Formula 1, the driver loses a second per lap once he gets a child. As we are watching Gabri fighting Magister into the hairpin, both on the brakes heavily, still side by side, and it looks like Magister has to get behind the fellow competitor and wait for another moment.
Yeah,
Botsy made a mistake, and this time side by side with Happy D. But looks like he should be able to maintain the position, but Happy D has a speed advantage into the next lavender. Will he brake later? Still no contact, still side by side, very close. Botsy now on the inside. I think Happy D will brake sooner and wait for the slipstream opportunity. Yes, he does. And Roger Chen is in the mix as well, as Happy goes into the pit lane. Interesting choice.
Yeah, that is interesting for sure. He goes into the pit lane, and well, I don't know, that could hurt him. It's not the quickest of stops either, but Happy D in, and let's see where he comes out.
Looking at the track map, he seems to be going out in a clear air behind Magister, several seconds behind. So
yeah, quite lucky in the end.
Maybe it's a calculation.
Yeah, a huge amount of clean air, so a decent time to pit that. Didn't want to get involved in any more battling with other drivers. We've got a few more cars in. We've got JSK, Johnny SVK and Criminez in, as Gabba at the end of this lap will have 5 laps to go.
And Magister is putting pressure on Gabri through the middle sector. As Gabri is really struggling for the grip, and it really shows. Essentially, every turn is now an opportunity for Magister to get past, but with this track being narrow and having no runoffs, it's very difficult. But I think as long as Magister stays patient, he should be past Gabri very soon. As soon as the end of this lap.
Yeah, it's a good exit for both of them. Magister pits, a perfect opportunity. Perfect opportunity to try and go for the move, but didn't go for it in the end. Elected to go to the pits instead.
Rex is in the battle with Nano, and the battle is now done. So the overtake is completed.
Yeah, Rex up from P10 to P5 then. Good effort from him. As the laps are ticking away here. Race 1 of round 25 of the Master Race Car FBM Saturday Championship, and it's a big mistake. Big mistake from El Nano. He loses any chance that he had of making that place back on this lap. Big collision with the apex going into the bus stop chicane. And the walls of South City will punish you, especially in an open wheeler, as Matty there is still pretty close to the back of Roger Chen. It has to be said, these three have not really spread out that much as Matty goes to the pit lane.
And looking at the car condition of Bozzi, I think this car got a lot of beating through the last 14 laps.
Yeah, not just from the walls, but also from other cars. Remember, Wow was crashing into him. Well, not crashing, but pushing him at some point.
It is true, but I saw Bozzi being visitor to the wall just a few seconds ago.
Okay. Well, let's watch Roger Chen. We saw him do the first qualifying lap of the evening. It's always tough going first. He set the benchmark time and finds himself in P8 battling with Titan of Live for Speed and the FBM, Bozzi. It's good to see them both racing again, that's for sure. Got to enjoy these little moments when they happen, and Roger Chen would surely love to beat Bozzi on equal machinery.
Yeah, definitely, but there's still a long way to go, and then 3 laps left, so the amount of opportunities is running down. As far as I know, both have yet to pit, so let's see if Roger Chen splits the strategy as he does. He goes into the pit lane now. Let's hope he gets out in a clean air so he can essentially bypass Bozzi before he gets into the pit lane as well.
T-Bug and Criminez are close together. Criminez closing in on him, find a way through. But the laps really are running out here. Gabba is on lap 17. We've got some drivers who are a lap down now without stops, so they need to be careful. They also need to come into the pit lane, otherwise they risk a disqualification. We've got everybody ahead of Gabri now who needs to stop. As Criminez there has dropped back a little bit from T-Bug. And onto the penultimate lap comes Gabba, and it's going to be a pit stop, 2 laps to go. So he's into the lane. And let's watch his stop, Michael, and see how he gets on, and keep an eye on Rex, because Rex has already stopped. Rex is in P8 as Gabba is on his way again. But Rex has had a lot of traffic, hasn't he? He's just coming out of the penultimate corner now. So Gabba will take the net lead. Almost guaranteed to take the net lead. As out onto the exit of the pit lane he comes. And he'll be just alongside, or just ahead actually there of Botsy, his teammate. You can just see Botsy there. And Rex could end up getting... he's just come out behind Sufor. No, yeah, Sufor's just come out ahead of him. So there we go.
Yeah, now in the provisional lead is TJ, who is yet to pit, and this lap is the final opportunity to do so. So I'm 100% sure that he will dive into the pit lane by the next turn.
We've had drivers forget to pit in the past, but it's unlikely that he's going to do that as he goes into the pits. The Fox 777 also goes into the pit lane. So too will El Nano. And Botsy will now pull into the pit lane, as will Wow.
I'm especially curious about where Botsy will end up, especially towards the fellow competitor he was battling before the pit stops, which I forgot who that was.
Oh, the Fox has gone into the pit lane way too fast, and he's got a 30-second time penalty. That is a rookie move, and, well, what was looking like a fantastic result, potentially a podium, has just gone up in absolute smoke for the Fox 777. That is gutting. A brilliant qualifying, fantastic race, and ruined it in the pit lane. So Sufor is looking like he might get the podium unless Rex spoils his day. Look at this. We've got a battle on the final lap for the podium.
Yeah, very beautiful battle. It's from the inside defending from Rex. This is the place where overtaking is not very possible. But as long as Rex can set up his car in a good way into the remaining straights, he should be able to get past.
Yeah, Gabba's just coming up to the penultimate corner now as we continue to watch this battle between Sufor and Rex. We're going to switch back to Gabba just as he crosses start-finish. We'll keep the cameras trained on these two for now as they come out of the final corner. Gabba comes up to start-finish. He's going to win by a country mile, 5.5 seconds ahead of TJ. Gabba wins the first race of round 25. And it looks like Rex might just be too far behind to get past. It's going to be close. It's going to be side by side across the line. No! Oh. DJ finishes second, Sufor third, Rex in fourth, and the Fox 777, although he's crossed the line, will have to wait for the 30-second penalty to elapse, which means a whole bunch of other cars are going to cross start finish before he is classified. So, yeah, we've got one more fight, it looks like, on the track. Sim Racing Polska Master is in the slipstream of Nexus NL coming out of the final corner. It looks like it's a bit too far, but that was potentially the final bit of action we were going to see.
And over the line they go in P23, 24, 25. And it should be everyone, I think, on the track.
Yeah, do you know what's slightly amusing? It's not amusing for the Fox 77, but it was close. He was very close to finishing 15th. But 4 seconds, unfortunately, too long on his penalty, and he will start in P17, having almost finished on the podium. That just shows you that you cannot ignore the pit lane. You have to practice it. You have to get it right. It is part of the race, and it can ruin it. It can go from being a really nice race to being absolutely rubbish in no time at all. So unlucky for him, but a learning experience, I'm sure. So let's take a look at the race results. Race 1 concludes with Gabber in 25 minutes and 3 seconds, 0.01 across the line. First, 5.8 seconds ahead of Road Appraiser TJ. Then it's Sufor and championship leader Fragmasters Rex just missing out there in P4 after an interesting strategy, pitted quite early on, Michael, and made it up to P4. El Nano P5, Happy D, Roger Chen, Botsy, Matty and Wow rounding out the top 10. Although it was a difficult race for Botsy, he still manages a pretty good result. The top 10 is always a good one. Then we've got Samet, Strutter, Mad Jester, Gabri, Bilo, Hosep. The Fox 77 there with that 30-second penalty finishing in P17, what could have been for him. Then Highwatt, Johnny SVK and Tamas, your top 20. Over on the second page, it's Criminez, T-Bug, Nexus NL, Master and Champion Plays YT, your 25 finishers, with DNFs for Rodder, Hocker Bokan, Owen, Dr. Allegra and Potatoes. A few minutes to go before race number 2, Michael, and our provisional pole sitter, we said it might be him quite a long way into the race, but it will actually be Bilo.
Yeah, I'm curious to see how this will play out for Bilo, as I think he's not the very experienced player and he might be a hindrance to everyone who will not benefit from the I forgot the word, reversed grid. Yeah, there it is. So it might be a very interesting start into the second race in 280 seconds from now.
Yeah, our graphic says top 10 reversed. It is the top 15 that will be reversed for tonight's race. And yeah, let's get into it, shall we? We've got just under 5 minutes to go before that happens, which means we get another chance to take a look through the Drivers' and Teams' Championship standings as they were before the start of today's round. Just to give you an idea of how the championship is shaping up, 25 rounds in. It's Rex before today that was leading the championship. I'm sure that's still in place for now. Then the Fox 777. You can see how a result like that in race 1, Michael, is really going to be annoying, especially considering that Happy D finished in P6 and is only 5 points behind him before the round began.
Yeah, absolutely, but he has time for a redemption in race number 2. And although starting in P17, I think if he stays away from trouble, he can get into the top 10, maybe top 8 or 6 easily.
Yeah, well, we will for sure see what's going on as we take a look at race 2 in just under 3 minutes' time. We'll let the rest of the Drivers' Championship standings scroll on by. There's Bilo in P21, 80 points so far, so he's got plenty of points in the championship, Michael. So hopefully a pole position will be an interesting experience for him to see how sort of high up he can get with that track or grid position advantage, should we say. As the list of drivers there, finishing 96 cars, registering at least 1 point in the 2025 MRc FBM Saturday Drivers' Championship. Teams then, let's see what's going on in the teams. It's Master Race Car leading Fragmaster, Road Appraiser, Sidus, Good Drivers, TAV, Winners, Race Green, Born to Race and Sonoris, the top 10, with 23 teams currently registering at least a point in the championship. Absolutely phenomenal stuff from the organisers, and of course the drivers that turn in laps week in, week out. And if you want to join more or see more action, you can do. We're broadcasting rounds 33, 42 and 51 in August, October and December, all part of the FBM Saturday series. And yeah, the championship takes place every single Saturday, so grab yourself a copy of Live for Speed and join from around about 6 o'clock UTC for the qualifying session. It's always good stuff. 2 minutes to go, Michael, before the start of race number 2. It's going to be Bilo on pole, then Gabri, Mad Jester, Strutter, Samet, Wow, Matty, Botsy, Roger Chen, Happy D, Nano, Rex, Sufor and TJ, with Gabber starting all the way down in P15. How far up do you reckon he can get? Do you reckon he can win it?
Oh, this track is very difficult for overtaking, but I think he is in a very good position to winning the second race anyway. And I think he, alongside the Fox and the few drivers who will benefit the least from the change of the grid, may pit on the end of lap 1.
Yeah, so
that's interesting to see.
That was my next question. Is now the strategy where the faster drivers will see how the first lap goes? How many places do they make up before they decide, you know what, that first lap wasn't so good, let's get into the pit lane and scrap it out, all of us together at the back? I wonder what everyone's going to do. It's a critical decision. Rex pitted quite early in this race, and he finished fourth with very, very fast drivers ahead. Only 9 seconds the gap in the end to the lead.
Yeah, if I ever was a fast driver, then I would definitely pit at the end of lap 1.
Okay, well there you go. Michael has spoken. Let's see if if that happens. Let's see who of the drivers that finished high up in race 1 decide to pit at the beginning of race number 2. Another 19-lap race, Michael, coming up in 30 seconds time, and the grid is going to look completely different to how it looked in at the beginning of the last race. Let's see how that goes. So yeah, for the final time this evening, take us away, Michael, for the grid for race number 2.
Let's go. And there we are again for the grid for the race number 2, with Bill on pole position, Gabriel in second, and Magister, Strater, Summit, Wow, and so on. As everyone is waiting for the lights to turn on. There we have them, and as soon as they go green, then the race will be underway. Very long hold, and we are going green. Let's see who gets the best start. It looks like Bilo has a decent start to be able to hold the lead, but there's a battle behind him with Magister and Gabriel going side by side. Looks like Magister has taken the P2, and Strater gets it a bit next and into the wall, and huge crash, and luckily no one else is involved as far as I can tell, with many drivers going side by side into the hairpin. A lot of late braking, but it looks like no further collision through there, although the order is being put on its head. And Bill seems to be leading, and the only casualties in the hairpin was the Fox, who seems to be spun, as Bots is now in P5, so it's a very strong start from him. Everyone was single file through this very difficult chicane. Bill is still leading Magister, who got past Gabriel in turn 1. Look at the gaggle of cars, it is pretty much single file. And any mistake here will be punished heavily. SRP Master spectated after some collision, I guess. And now it's the first opportunity to go into the pit lane. Rogerchen does so. Nano try to go in, but give up. Bots into the pit lane. And
yeah, Botsy's not gone into the pits. He's he's leading a train of cars. It's Samet now who is trying to go around the outside there through turn number 1, and Gabri is just in behind as well. But this is fantastic action. Samet there going for P3 at the beginning of this race, still holding the outside line. Botsy might try the switchback here, as Samet is really, really close to the inside. No, Botsy has no room and has to concede, and that's P4 then for him for now.
Yeah, but Botsy is really eager to get past, and I think he goes on the inside through this turn, which is very deadly, as we are not reaching Happy D. Big difference from 2 guys behind him, which should be Onano and Rex.
Yeah, Sufor is just ahead of Happy D now, and there's a whole train of cars currently being led, as you said before, by Botsy. Samet has managed to get ahead and has opened up a little bit of a gap, not too much, but enough, I think, at this stage to avoid being slipstreamed away, as Wow has made a move, has he? Yes, he's made a move on Happy D. He's made it happen at the place where Happy D overtook him, and a bunch of cars decide now is the time, end of lap 2, to go into the pit lane. Interesting decision, but Wow getting moved back on Happy D the same way that he did it to him in the first race. And 3 wide over start finish. Fantastic stuff here.
Yeah, and Safra chickens out as Nano is colliding with Wow. They almost killed each other and barely avoided the ball. But this did cost Safra both positions, and he now has to work hard to get them back.
Yeah, absolutely amazing stuff.
And Safar collects Wow, spins him around in the hairpin, which might block the track there. We are not seeing what's happening there. Yeah, looks like Hoseb got stuck through there in this mayhem.
Yeah, I was completely distracted by a race that was happening out of the pit lane. Happy D was leading a whole train of cars out of the pit lane. Rex and TJ were there as well, and Gabo is now racing with Roger Chen. He's through as they head down the hill one more time. We've got two races essentially going on here. A race for the lead, which is currently being led by Bilo, but Manchester is on pace. He's got the fastest lap and he's closing in. Has he got a slipstream? He might do.
He might be, but I think it will take the whole start-finish straight to get close enough, so I don't think that the change of the position will happen this soon.
Yeah, Gabba is in P14 in the race at the moment, but crucially, look at the timing tower. One stop has been made by him. He is the top place driver who has stopped already, and that is that's quite a telling sign, really, because he's got clean air ahead of him.
And three-way fight between Gabriel, Happy D, and Rex. Rex on the inside. Happy D around, no, it's then TJ through there alongside Happy D out of nowhere, almost like a collision. It's a four-way battle into the hairpin. Who's gonna go hardest on the brakes? It's Rex who is leading, but looks like the inside is for Happy D, but he managed to stay away from the rear end of car ahead. Rex is running away from the trio of Happy D, Gabriel, and TJ, who are battling very hard for the P15, 16, and 17.
Yeah, this is brilliant stuff. It's difficult to know what to focus on here, really, because, like I said,
absolutely,
plenty of racing going on as TJ goes to the inside on Gabri and goes through in a nice move into the bus stop chicane. Next on his list is Happy D.
It was a very opportunistic move from TJ, and he benefited from the fact that Gabriel is also a very experienced player who know that this is not a position to fight back. So that allows both of them to get through safely, and now that they can work together to catch up to Happy D and Rex. And TJ says thank you into the chat. As we are now watching the Fox in a battle with Highwatt, I believe. As Gabor picks the fastest lap of the race so far. The Fox is now on the inside of this particular battle and already passed Highwatt. And a huge slide through the first turn. His rear tires might be crying for help. Yeah, it goes alongside, and it will be Highwatt on the outside of the hairpin. Who brakes later? They brake evenly. Fox is on the inside. It's a contact, a little one, and this allows who is that? Johnny SVK to catch the fight. Yeah.
Yeah, there's going to be a crash here, isn't there? Johnny SVK
I'm anticipating one.
Oh, that was so close. Across the nose of goes the Fox on Highwatt, and Johnny SVK watching and waiting for the incident to happen that never came. But wow, the Fox is having to fight really, really hard to make his way up from P19. He's second in the championship, and he's having an absolute mare this evening. He has opened up the gap now, though.
Yeah, the gloves are off, and Highwatt is now under pressure from Johnny SVK, but he wasn't close enough with the snow losing in the acceleration, so he wouldn't be able to take the advantage of the slipstream. We are now watching Botsi being right at the tail of Samet, who is struggling for the pace a little bit. It's reported that Gabor is second faster than the lead of the race, so that definitely is playing into his hands.
Yeah, and you can see from the nose cam here that Samet has got quite a lot of pace. He has got Botsi right behind him. You can't quite see him from this camera angle, but Botsi is hassling him. But Samet is trying to catch up to the front two himself. Botsi will know that, but might not be as patient as perhaps he should be, because, well, Samet's doing a decent job here of catching up to the top two. Let's see, is Botsi in a position to get a slipstream? No, he isn't. He's actually dropped back now. Yeah, way too far.
And it looks like Manchester is also struggling to even keep up with Bilo, unless he's doing some sort of a waiting game, which wouldn't be very sensible in this situation.
No, I think Bilo's holding his own out at the front. 5 tenths of a second, half a second in the lead. In fact, opening up the lead ever so slightly there, as Samet now is in the slipstream of Manchester, and let's see if he can get him into the hairpin. He's really gaining on him. Nope, decided. Oh, very, very late cut to the inside for Samet. That would absolutely not have flown. And, well, he's compromised his line a little bit there. Botsy may be closing back up.
And Bilo now went very wide to return. I wonder if he made a mistake, but he lost a few turns to Magister, who's right on his tail now.
Well, the top four here are nose to tail. Bilo has lost a bit of time. Majesta is right there now. Samet 2, and Botsy will undoubtedly be in the slipstream as well. Come the penultimate corner. Let's see what happens here. Anything could happen. It could be Botsy leading. Oh no, it's a huge handful of oversteer out of there for Botsy. Third corner from the end. Is he going to get a good exit? Not really. Bilo pits. Samet pits, and it's Majesta who will take the race to lap number 8.
Let's see where Bilo and Samet end up after they finish their mandatory pit stop.
Yeah, Gabber is coming past them now in the pit lane. That shows you the pace that he has had side by side in the background there for Kim and Roger Chen, as Bilo is coming out round the final corner, and Gabber has just gone past. So fair play to him. Well, Gabber is essentially net lead of the race now by lap number 8. Unbelievable.
Yeah, and Bilo has been under pressure from Roger Chen, and is now under pressure from Krimenes, who touched his rear, trying to show him that he's right behind. But that touch did slow him down, and he's now under pressure from Samet, as they went side by side in the background.
Yeah, Gabber's got a lot of work to do now, though. The gap as they left the pits was 3 seconds over the first sector time, first sector line, and he's got 11 laps to open up, probably about another 10 seconds if he wants to be safe. So Gabber has got to get the hammer down. He's got to do 1 second a lap faster than everybody else, including Bilo, etc., in order to win this race. But I think, judging by the absolute squabble of cars we're witnessing on our screens right now, it's going to be very, very, very difficult for anybody else to win this race.
Krimenes into the pit. And Rex is now in the slipstream of Samet, and should be alongside anytime soon. There he goes. Samet doesn't defend the position.
Yeah, we'll see what the gap is over start finish. There goes Bilo over start finish, and yeah, Gabber's opened up a 5-second gap on that lap, so only 7 or 8 seconds to go.
Yeah, and there was a Happy alongside Samet now, after a suboptimal turn 1. Oh, they're both sliding through that downhill braking.
Oh!
Happy around the outside, little contact, and TJ goes through there. He's taking the advantage of Samet being off place and walked off guard. And now Samet was to position in a span of 200 meters. And
yeah,
let's see how well they fare.
But yeah, now it's TJ who is. He must have had some drama or something, because he's not really close to Gabber at this stage. Just in a huge queue of cars, but has to get through Happy D first.
Looks like DJ is not close enough, as we are now into the 10th lap of this race. But he should be close enough for the slipstream now. Happy is trying to go defensive, but decides that he's far enough for TJ to catch up into the braking zone, and he seems to be right. As Gabor, in the meantime, has got past Strutter in the background. We are still observing TJ putting Happy under pressure. He doesn't seem to be going defensive, as there's a side-by-side action ahead of them, also with Bilo and Rex going side-by-side, as TJ manages to capitalize on PD.
Yeah, Rex has managed to get through on our pole sitter Bilo as well. Bilo down to P11 then, as it's Botsy who currently leads the race overall. So who was that pulling into the pit lane? That was Matty, as Majesta takes over or resumes in P2. Meanwhile, And, well, interestingly, Gabba is 11 seconds off our race leader, which means if Botsi were to pit now, then Gabba would take over the lead, I think. I think that's enough. I think Gabba's already done enough. It remains to be seen now whether anyone at the front can challenge Gabba for the overall lead. Remarkable stuff. I don't think it's possible. The pace is just too high from Gabba today.
Yeah, in the meantime, TJ got past Bilo, and so does APD, so Bilo is now a lot off pace.
I do wonder what would have happened if Sufa had pitted earlier. He's got the fastest lap, which means he's clearly got the pace, but he's got traffic now. As this is Roger Chen and Matty. Roger is through. And now Rex is closing in on him.
Yeah, this is a three-way fight for P7.
Three-way fight.
Yeah, fight. And who's gonna fight first? It looks like Rex is very close to Matty, but he knows that he has to wait a bit for this final stretch. And he now shall be in the opportunity to get past as Chen is trying to pull away from Matty, and it looks like he is in a position to stay ahead. As Matty goes defensive from Rex. Rex on the outside, now taking toe of Chen and goes past Matty very easily. So it's P8 for Rex at the beginning of lap 12.
Yeah, fabulous stuff. Next up is Roger Chen, number 23. Let's see if Rex can do it. As Majesta has dropped from P2 to P3. El Nano has managed to get through, but he's still close by. Let's see if Sufor wants to get through as well. He needs to get a bit closer. Coming up to the penultimate corner. Nope, he hits the wall.
He still seems to be pretty close, but yeah, I think that Suffer will be able to take advantage of Majester's slipstream. He's already gaining, and we are not even on the straight. Yeah, Majester goes defensive. Tries to go around the outside, so he might try to switch back, but he might pull it off as he's now in the slipstream and might go side by side. Instead, keeps bumping his fellow competitor. So they are sort of working together.
Yeah, if you just don't feel as though it's worth it to fight with people, you know the faster drivers are coming through. Yeah, that's a smart move from Majesta. Let Sufor go, see if we can get a bit of spice in this race. Yeah. Personal decision not to battle, but for the good of the race, that's a good call.
Yeah, absolutely. And Nomo is now getting uncomfortably close to Botsi. So we might see a lead change very soon.
Big hit off the wall again. This time El Nano. And not close enough out of the penultimate corner. But Botsi's decided he's had enough. He's coming in the pit lane. But I think it's too late. It's too late for Botsi. He's not going to be able to battle with Gabba. He's just not been fast enough. Gabba coming under the underpass now. The gap is simply too small for Botsi to come out and fight with his teammate. Botsi's just stopped now, and Gabba is going past. So that is it.
And it's a disaster for Botsi because he left the match repair open, and he's still stationary. He got moving now, 13 seconds stationary. Huge time loss.
Even worse. So, yeah, from such an experienced driver, I mean, unless he had damage he needed to repair, I can't see it. I don't understand why he would have done that.
I did check the damages of his car, and his left side was completely obliterated by the walls and contacts with other cars.
But he wasn't going to lose 13 seconds in 5 laps. Not a chance. So, not a smart move there.
Yeah, probably.
And unfortunately, Botsi comes out in P14. There isn't a third race, Botsi. You can't get pole again. I'm sorry. Anyway, El Nano leads now ahead of Sufor, Majesta and Wow, but of course they need to pit. Gabba in P5 is essentially leading this race. He has an 8-second lead, 8-second gap to El Nano. it takes way more than that to get down the pit lane. So he is back in the lead of this race. Yeah, let's see when the rest of the field are going to decide to throw in the towel. Looks like Gabba is going to get past Wow on the track here. And TJ is in the slipstream of Matty, Michael. To the inside.
Yeah, he's already alongside on the inside. And I think it will be an easy pass with Matty maybe trying to switch back to there, which is a possibility, and he is now in the slipstream, goes alongside again. It will be TJ on the inside of the braking into the hairpin. Let's see who brakes later. They are pretty equal, and looks like TJ remains in the lead. It was very close, and the Happy D is now in the mix as well. And Matty is looking for a way around TJ, but this is a place where it's not very possible. You have to stay patient. And Happy D is waiting patiently for either of them to make a mistake.
Yeah, carried a bit too much speed into the bus stop, scrubbed it in the middle, and then loses time coming out. But Matty's had even worse of a time coming out of there. TJ's disappeared, so it's now the battle for P9 currently between Happy D and Matty. Teammates, of course. And let's see. Oh, it's a dodgy exit for Matty, and this should be an easy one for Happy D.
Yeah, Happy D is already gaining, and he should be alongside in a few seconds. And I don't think that the Happy D will pose much threat. He goes defensive, but at this speed advantage Happy D has, it's not even possible to defend really, and he's what's behind. So it's P9 for Happy D.
Yeah, he's through. Matty tail between his legs in P10 now. As Gabba will make that move on track on Wow. Wow will not defend, will not even attack. Well, not even hold him up at all, rather, and Gabba is through into P4.
And that's a very easy pass. Now Gabba has a few seconds of clean air before catching Manchester, who is yet to pit. With 4 seconds. And 3 laps to go. And Suffer is into the pit lane. Nano Peeps leading the race so far. Let's see, and hope that Suffer doesn't take drive-through penalty for speeding. It was very late braking, but he knows his stuff. He surely has the Magister net off. Yes, he does. Oh, and into the pit lane as well, although he's lap down, I believe. And he's changing wheels, which is very interesting.
Yeah, another mistake, surely. No reason to do that unless you had a puncture. Zufall is going to come out in... is he going to come out ahead? No, he comes out behind Rex. So, and just ahead of Roger Chen. He's now going up the outside, trying to do the move. But, oh yeah, Zufall just about has it. P6 is his.
Yeah, now Roger Chen has his time of getting past Suffer. And as long as these two battle, TJ is in position to catch them and possibly pass them altogether. With 2.5 laps to go. It's like TJ is now closer to Roger than Roger is to Suffer, so the tables have turned, and now Roger has to go defensive. If that's even possible with TJ behind. Little contact between them, but nothing too serious. Suffer is already in the distance from Roger Chen, who is under pressure from Road to Praises TJ, who should get alongside soon.
2 laps to go, 1 lap to go now as they come across start finish. El Nano has pitted. TJ pulls out of the slipstream. Majesta will lead. Oh, onto the final lap. What's Roger doing? Did he even know he was coming? Very unusual contact that from Roger. Hard defending. Bumping wheels, trying to push TJ wide, and it hasn't worked. TJ is through. Can only
just behind Nano, who is still of the pits right now.
Yeah.
So,
contact. But Roger's taken TJ out. A completely uncharacteristic accident between those two drivers. What was Roger thinking there? Into the rear of him, pushes him round. a lot of contact between those two, unless there's some beef going on that I don't know about. Super unusual that for Roger and TJ to crash together, but my. Roger says sorry in the chat, so clearly an accident rather than beef, so that's good, but wow.
Yeah, it was very unusual.
Scrappy driving.
Yeah, one would say it's a four-time world champion move, but up to everyone to judge. But still, this allowed other drivers to gain 2 positions easily.
Yeah, Manchester's in the pits here, Michael, so Gabber is going to take over the lead. We're going to watch it on the camera. Manchester into the pits, and Gabber past the pit lane and up to turn 1. Here he comes on the final lap. Absolutely nobody else in the camera shot at all, except, who's that? That's Rex just appearing 7 seconds back. Unbelievable driving from Gabber this evening.
Yeah, looks like Gabor is still practicing the social distancing from the dark times of COVID. And Manchester is out of the pit lane and right alongside TJ. And it looks like TJ has enough speed advantage to be ahead by the time we get into the hairpin. Yes, he does. But
Wow.
Manchester will be definitely eager to get past.
Yeah, TJ should have been absolutely nowhere near Manchester because of the pace that he had. But obviously the incident with Roger forced TJ to have to basically stop at the hairpin and wait for a gap to rejoin. So unlucky, but yeah, Manchester not quite able to take advantage and take P7 at this stage. As we come up to the penultimate corner on the final lap of race 2 of round 25 of Master Race Cars FBM Saturday Championship for 2025, and it's the double. Gabber has done it, Michael. Take him to the line.
And there goes Saidos Gabor winning the race number 2 as well, unless something terrible happens to him in the last 200 meters of this race. But I guess it's a no as he crosses the finish line, and a very good time. And let's see how many seconds it takes to the second driver. It's 7 seconds, 1700 for Grandmaster Rex in P2. It's Suffer, El Nano, Happy D, TJ over the line behind Mete, it's Manchester, and it's Summit, Roger Chen, Wow in P11, Botsi in P12 in the end, closely followed by the Fox, who didn't really gain much after that start from P17. It's Gabriel Stratter, Bilo, Husep, Thomas in P18, very good position for him. Johnny SVK after some shenanigans in P19. Highwatt from Sinaris P20, and looks like the final car of Nexus goes over the line now. Oh, it's not a final car so far. Yeah, here goes Owen from Sinaros with a heavily damaged car, P22, and there is Nexus in P23, 1 lap down. And that should be everyone, I believe. Yeah, there we go. So that's 23 finishers in this very hectic second race.
Yeah, that is everybody. And we can present the full rundown with the gaps, etc. And yeah, it's Gabber in 25 minutes and 8 seconds takes the win in race 2 again by an impressive margin of 7 seconds over the next driver. That is phenomenal. He started the race in P15, don't forget, and not only got to the front, but opened up a bigger gap than he had in race 1. Unbelievable stuff. Gabber on absolute form today. Rex is in second. Sufor is in third, with El Nano, Happy D, Matty, TJ, Manchester, Summit, and Roger Chen, your top 10. Interesting bit of drama later on between TJ and Roger, meaning that neither of them really finished where we would have expected. However, it did allow some other drivers to finish high up, including Samet, who put on an impressive drive there, to be honest. He held the front for quite a while, and some clean racing put him into a solid top 10 position, so good performance from him. Then we've got Wow, Botsy, the Fox 777 making up a lot of places there to sort of put a P13 on his damp evening. I think that's not one he'll want to remember. With Gabri, Strutter, Bilo, our pole sitter there in P16. Hosep, Tamas, Johnny SVK, and Highwatt are your top 20, with confirmation that Criminez, Nexus, and Owen are your final finishers there, 23 finishers, and DNFs for Champion Plays, YT, T-Bug, and Sim Racing Polska Master. Well, Michael, that was dramatic to say the least, and I thoroughly enjoyed it.
Yeah, absolutely. I'd call it a fury, but mostly peaceful racing, as we saw some interesting moves in the second race. but looks like it was a very good racing action, and I really enjoyed commentating it.
Indeed, me too, absolutely. And I can't wait to see this action again when we bring more live coverage of the championship in August, Saturday the 16th of August. Round 33 of the championship will be live at whatever track we are going to be presented with there. The track is normally decided before, the week before rather. So we will obviously let you know as and when. We do invite, of course, remember, drivers to join us in the commentary box after races. So if you are a part of any of the broadcasts that we do invite you to the TeamSpeak server, ts.simbroadcasts.tv, to come and have a chat with us, the commentators, about your race. It does add a sort of a different perspective for us. It's nice to hear from drivers. So do remember that is an option on our broadcast if you do want to come and chat to us afterwards. We would be very happy to talk to you. Michael, it's been a good one.
Absolutely, and I'm looking forward to another broadcast in 2 months.
Yeah, indeed. It's great to be partnering with MRC once again for the championships, and something a bit different with the FBM Saturday series. We hope you've enjoyed it, and we hope that we will see you next time. Remember, the championship takes place every single week. Join their server at 6 o'clock UTC for the one-shot qualifying session, and we will see you on the grid. That's all from us tonight. We hope you've had a good one. Thanks to Chris in the background, of course, for all of his support as usual. To Michael, obviously, thanks to you in the commentary box for all your help. And yeah, all that's left to say is thanks to our drivers, thanks to MRC, and to you, our audience, for watching. We can't do this without you. From all of us here at Sim Broadcast. Have a great rest of your weekend. We will see you next time. Good night.
Good night.